Hey, Guyanese, hey, what make we so stupid? I wonder. Guyanese like myself, yes. Why we so foolish? And I will tell you. Imagine we put the leaders there in the government and gone we back from them like we don't care how taxpayers' money spent. With all the corruption that taking place, we is the ones we blame. While them are thief. We just sit down like if we lame. But this God don't sleep. No, he don't sleep. By the time I done sing make I so, I know you're gonna agree with me that he don't sleep. Jehovah not sleep. One day the same bad seed that them sow, it's that they gonna reap. Under this party, politicians thieving at will. Under this party, them not care, they're doing it still. Under this party, all the big contracts are go to them friend. Under this party, them forgetting the longest rope of an end. But if we the people can come together and stand up for what is right, put aside we indifference and start unite. Politicians would know them damn place and work with honesty. Then boom, Guyana would rise and have a vibrant economy. Ding dang diddy do dang dunga day. Whoa, dee da dee da ding ding diddy ding dang diddy do dang dunga day. Whoa, da 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 do. Guyanese, open your eyes, yes. Guyanese like myself, hey, it's time we get wise. Imagine we finance minister, auditor is the wife. It's like putting cat to watch bill. How could that be right then? Clem take $38 million and buy a old water cannon truck. And on the first two out in the go fund instead it work. The truck just dropped. But this God don't sleep. No, he don't sleep. In any developed country, Clem balls would have been the heat, but he don't sleep. Jehovah not sleep. One day, the same bad seed that them sow, it's that they gonna reap. Under this party, corruption rising high. Under this party, man get killed execution style. Under this party, the trustworthiness starting to decline. Under this party, that's why Ralph Ramkaran had to resign. Them man see and talk about corruption going on inside the own camp. He said from the top to the bottom, it's a set of scam. Big mansion them a build in Diamond and Pradoville with taxpayers' money, and I make sure that them pockets fill. Hey, ding dang ding day. Tell them, hey, dee da dang ding da ga dung day dung day. Whoa, yeah. Dee da 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 do day. Hey, Guyanese, what make we so dense? I wonder. Guyanese like myself, yes. When we gon' get sense? Imagine we NIS in a mess and we just sit down like a wet ram boat and allow that dirty face lunchman to push fall curry down we throat. Retirement age is 60, now they want raise it to 65. So by the time we near me the target, we don't lose we life. But this God don't sleep. No, he don't sleep. They mess up the insurance scheme, and now poor people are feel the steam, but he don't sleep. Jehovah not sleep. One day, the same bad seed that them sow is that the gun rip. Under this party, bribe is the order of the day. Under this party, everybody in position taking pay. Under this party, the judiciary system is a sham. Under this party, ministers doing wrong and don't give a damn. Look, millions were gone down the drain, and not a man jack was put in jail. See them faulty road projects, they should be locked away without bail. But a day go come when the table go make a turn. Just like Henry Green, how he got his son come just so it done. Ding 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 dang 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 hey hey. Tell them, hey, dang boy, dang 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 hey. Da 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 boy. Guyanese, hey, we got to get conscious this time. Guyanese like myself, yes, we got to start being serious. And I'm going to tell you why. This country is we own, and not corrupt politicians alone. The main cause of division between the black man and Indian, Freddie Kissoon fighting against it right now inside the court. So come out in we numbers and give that man we full support. This guy don't sleep. No, he don't sleep. When you look at the high level of corruption taking place in this poor country, he don't sleep. Jehovah not sleep. One day, the same bad seed that them sow is that the gun rip. Under this party, like the skullduggery will never end. Under this party, like it just becoming a daily trend. Under this party, we only hearing them side for NCN. Under this party, is sheer neglect for Region 10. Unemployment is very high. This community in a depressful state. We see in hell under this regime, but it can't make we lose we faith. The Almighty upon we side. He see all the evil they do. And yes, Jah is the master, and only He will see us through.
If you are looking to have your statutory declaration, affidavit of income, identity, damage or lost passport, lost license, tenancy agreement, agreement of settlement, power of attorney, last will and testament, and certification of documents, then you need to visit the Alistair Collins firm, located at the Kellyan Mall, 162 Lamaha Street, in Georgetown, between Camp and Waterloo Street. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths and a justice of the peace. Make certain you visit him or call for more information at 649-6410 or 685-6448 or 503-1451. And there's adequate parking available. Go down to the Alistair Collins firm and have all of your legal issues settled and brought to the fore. Alistair Collins Firm. Contact them at Alistair Collins Firm.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
All right, hey, that's about. Let's get ready to rock and roll tonight on 107.1 FM. Share the link and let your friends know that I'm actually on. The program has started, and let's get down to some serious business here tonight on 107.1 FM. Thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. And we ask that you share the link, call your friends and your relatives, or even give them a call at Freedom House and at Office of the Installed President to let them know that we are on this evening. All right. But then again, I wish to let me say that I apologize to you guys for saying to call them, asking you to call them. Because in Guyana, and I hope our operator Lemon, I know it's Friday, he probably wants to head out of here so that he can get some paiwari or he can get some high wine or whatever it is that he drinks. All right. So if he can remove that photograph, we're not ready for this photograph yet to let the world see exactly the conditions of the roads in Guyana. This is just one of the roads, right, leading into a popular area on the quarantine, Black Bush Polder. Black Bush Polder. And you know, these people in the installed regime, they love to jump on the mountaintop and boast and brag about what they have done. But the evidence is quite clear that what they have done is basically to enrich themselves. That's what they did. And ordinary folks, whether supporters of them or not, punished for the 23 plus years. And I'm going to dig into that and give you guys some information. So good evening and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benchop. It's the 25th day of March 2022. All right, and we are so thankful to be around, for still being around. The pandemic just wiped hundreds of thousands of people away, millions of people, as a matter of fact, around the world. And in Guyana, over 1,000 persons that we know, maybe others have died as a result of COVID-19, right? But let me say this. Many of the persons who died, should not have died, is as a result of negligence on the part of the installed regime. And I say that because they are more concerned about monies, right? Whatever monies that they can make, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars from the pandemic. And we know the famous saying, people will have to die. I believe it is Jagdeo who said, people will have to die. Well, some people responded by saying maybe the wrong set of people have died, right? But over 1,000 persons. And I say this because they are back at their old tricks again. There's nothing new with them, old tricks again. And so the lady, Barbara Feinstein from the U.S. State Department, they're talking about COVID-19 money. Right? They want more money now, and they will get money. But the question is, what will they do with the money that they got? We all know. So there's no reason. There's no reason why we should second guess that, right? Just like what has happened with this set of monies that they got for the Sputnik, hundreds of thousands of Sputniks they got in Guyana, right? For hundreds of millions of dollars. But these are the people who love to talk about transparency, right? And when we question them in terms of transparency, guess what? Guess what? Some of their diehard blind supporters, look, let me go quickly and find out whether you guys are hearing me loud and clear. Are you guys hearing loud and clear? If you are, just let's get it, because somebody is saying no sound, right? Somebody's actually saying no sound. I don't know. Someone is saying no sound. I don't know if they're at a fish shop or where they are, or they probably in one of those hangout spots. And let us see who's saying no sound. Garfield Collins is saying no sound. these you could tell Garfield Collins is probably from Blackbush, or I don't know where he's from, but he's saying no sound. Oh, here it is. A lot of you are saying yes, you're hearing me loud and clear. And Garfield Collins finally did what he should have done, was to turn the volume of his computer or his neighbor's computer up a little. Or if he is probably looking through the window, listening to his neighbor's computer or their TV, because you could see. Sorry about that. Yeah, and thank you so much. I'm glad that you're hearing us now, Mr. Collins, because you can look at me on YouTube, right? On a big screen, you see. There you go, right? All right, so I'm glad that you guys are hearing loud and clear. And the thing is about the regime is so many things that they have done that was so wrong to that country. But yet these guys sit. I don't know how they do that. To sit with this bare face is just, it reminds me of when Bill Clinton was president of the United States of America. And Bill Clinton stood in front of the cameras and with his wife, Hillary, next to him, and his daughter, Chelsea, and the entire world probably watching, millions upon millions of people. And he looked into the cameras and he said, I did not have sexual intercourse with that girl. I did not have any sort of sexual contact with that girl. Of course, he was talking about Monica Lewinsky, right? We all know the truth. We all know what happened, that there was some sort of connection, and he was impeached, right? He was impeached, and he went on and he won the next elections. He won a second term. And then there was George Bush, who said, look, read my lips. No more, no more. There will be no new taxes. Read my lips. Read my lips. But then again, let's get back to our local read my lips kind of guy, our local Tanti Morrow. He sits there with a straight face and lies upon lies coming out of his mouth. Lies and lies and lies. Lies about the economy, lies about how they govern the country, just lies upon lies upon lies. And people, including their own supporters, are tired of the lies. People are tired of the lies. People are so tired that they sometimes get upset with me or the operator Lemon whenever this guy's face or his photograph is on the screen. People just don't like watching this guy because they know that he lies and he lies and he lies and he lies. That's it. I've noticed somebody saying King lies, lies. King lies, lies. Of course it's King lies, lies, right? I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of watching his face on the screen as well, right? Every time we watch his face on the screen, people just click off. I don't want you guys to click off. Don't click off. It is important that we look at him, right? Because we know that he's watching this show. Go, right? We know that. Sorry that I say you should have seen my facial expression. Maybe something the way that I say go, right, with that tone of voice. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm sounding a little like Jagdeo. And how Jagdeo talks. I don't want you guys to see my face. How he talks. And something is definitely wrong with that. Hey, yeah, give me a break. Anyways, look, let's get down to business here. It's Friday, right? It's Friday, right? Okay, look, here's what I want to talk about. Here's what I want to talk about. And you guys should have seen my facial expression when I was imitating him and the opposition party. And what does he say? He doesn't know how to pronounce words. This is a man who has gotten 3 doctorates. He didn't earn the doctorates, right? They just throw it as like it's going out like bingo ticket. You get up and you say bingo. I don't know. I don't know. Barrett Jagdeo. Hey, if you're listening, hello. Right, but let's get down to business here, man. Good evening to all of you. I have some things I want to discuss with you guys this evening, right here on 107.1 FM. Now, early at the press conference, mind you, right? At a press conference, Barrett Jagdeo seemed to have, he has something personal against the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. This guy, Dr. Keith Rowley. He has a problem with Dr. Keith Rowley. I don't know if it is because of Dr. Rowley's ethnicity. I don't know. I don't know if it is because Dr. Rowley is actually a real doctor. I don't know. He is by far more qualified than that quack, that guy who got an honorary doctor degree. And he's running around, love when people address him as Dr. Jagdeo. He is not Dr. Jagdeo. So let me introduce to you guys a man who has worked hard for his PhD, for his doctorate. This guy, Dr. Keith Rowley. Okay, so now here's why I want to talk. Now, look, not everything that Keith Rowley, the Honorable Prime Minister, does in Trinidad and Tobago and so forth, that we'll agree. Of course, he makes mistakes as well. But the man is running and governing that country, even under the circumstances of the pandemic. This man has ensured that his people got the right vaccine, the right COVID-19 vaccine, right? That is what he has ensured, that his people, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, got the right vaccine, the correct vaccines. Okay? So let's get that straight. Meanwhile, this guy in Guyana and his puppet didn't give you guys in Guyana the right vaccines. In fact, the Sputnik V was questionable, and thousands of you got that. A questionable vaccine. Of course, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago ensured that the people, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, got the best. And so the best meaning those vaccines that were approved by WHO, the World Health Organization. Thank you, Dr. Keith Rowley, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, for putting your people first, for putting your country first, over profits and over skullduggery and all sorts of corrupt deals, as in the case in Guyana. Thank you, Dr. Keith Rowley, for being that person who put your country first. All right? But Jagdeo, again, getting back to Jagdeo, has something personal against Keith Rowley. And he's obviously doing so because he prefers this woman, Kamala Bissessar. He wants her to be the Prime Minister so that it would have been like a trifecta. Irfaan being, quote unquote, the installed president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And then we have Santoki out in Suriname. Santoki was a prosecutor, right? And Jagdeo, they hated his guts when he arrested a friend of the PPP, Roger Khan, when Roger Khan and his guys then ran away to Suriname, and they were caught by the Surinamese police, and the police tied them up and so forth and so on. Santoki was the guy. So they didn't like Santoki then. But because Santoki is now the president of Suriname. They love him, of course, obviously, not because of his politics, but because of his ethnicity. That's it. And so they were hoping that in the last elections in Trinidad and Tobago, that this woman, Kamala Bessessar, would have been elected. She wasn't elected. She was beaten by Dr. Keith Rowley. And that raised the bumps of Bharat Jagdeo. And you all know what happens when Bharat Jagdeo bump raises. You all know what happened. His bumps raise. And so we can say, based on how Jagdeo is ranting, that there are a lot of reasons why he hates this guy. We can put one top on the list, maybe this man's ethnicity, maybe this man's looks, obviously better than Jagdeo. I'm sorry, this is not a program that we do these sort of things, but tonight I have to do it because it is the fact, right? So many reasons why he hates this man. This man is a married man. And now Jagdeo had an arranged marriage that turned out to be questionable because the woman who he was supposedly married to said that the marriage wasn't really a real marriage. And we all know the big blah, blah, blah behind that. So, and so Jagdeo probably hates this man for that. Because look at this guy, Keith Rowley. Look at him. Look at his family, his wife, his children, his grandson. Look at his family. All of these things we can just conclude that Jagdeo hates this man, Keith Rowley, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I want to make this clear, quite clear for all of you, that while whenever leaders are in office, they make mistakes. And I am certain that Dr. Keith Rowley has made mistakes. But when you look at how he's governing that country, we don't have as much complaints, even though they might be, yeah. But the level of corruption under Kamala Bessessar, we hardly hear that under this guy. But look, it's Trinidad and Tobago, right? But let's get back to Guyana. This is this man's beautiful family. Jagdeo can't pose in a photograph like this. Oh, sorry, I take that back. I take that back from you guys. Jagdeo has family. Jagdeo has family. Look at Jagdeo's family. Take a look. Take a good look at Jagdeo's family. Jagdeo's family, you always see him either at State House or wherever. Look, he's hugging up his guys. Look, his family. Compared to Keith Rowley, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, this is Jagdeo's family. And you know, one of those guys in the photograph was actually a gunman, right? Belonged to a killing squad. So Jagdeo, we know Jagdeo's family. We know the kind of guys he loves to hug up. Gunmen. His family. Jagdeo's family, right? Compared to Rowley's, the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. His family. We see that. But Jagdeo doesn't like that guy because, like I've said, he has something against the guy because the guy beat this woman, Jagdeo's choice for Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Because, like I was saying, there was a trifecta. Irfaan Ali being installed in Guyana, Santoki winning the elections in Suriname, he beat Baltasar, and then Kamala Harris was beaten by Dr. Keith Rowley. But Kamala Harris didn't want to accept the votes. She wanted to play the same kind of game that played out in Guyana. And so when she attempted to play that game in Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Rowley made a statement. The Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago made a statement. He said, and this is where Jagdeo's bumps raised. His bumps, we get back to his bumps, right? Raised. Good. This is what happened. Dr. Keith Rowley actually said the United National Congress is trying to Guyanize the Trinidad and Tobago general election. But Trinidad and Tobago is not Guyana. So said the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, as he responded yesterday, meaning when the elections concluded, August 10th. He responded yesterday to news that the UNC was seeking a recount in 5 constituencies and that its lawyers were compiling a list of irregularities which the party said occurred during the polling process. So Dr. Keith Rowley stopped that. He said, hey, you're not only that going to Guyanize Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, Jagdeo didn't like it because Jagdeo wanted this woman in as the prime minister. Because according to reports, some of her people went down to Guyana to assist some of her people went to Guyana to assist the PPP in, allegedly, they went down for that, the rigging of the elections. Some of our people were down there, right? Some of our people were down there. And so when Trinidad and Tobago had their last elections, Jagdeo and his cabal reciprocated. And so Jagdeo is vexed, his bumps raising. His bumps keep raising. God in heaven knows, maybe those of you who know Granny Ivelaw, that granny guy, you know what he carries behind, right? Good. Jagdeo bumps probably is as bigger as Granny, you know what Granny Ivelaw carries around behind her, right? Good. So all of these things, I'm saying, all of these things make this guy miserable. He probably can't sleep at night. But when you take a good look at, as to, you know, look at him. Look at him. And he's not even 60. He's not even 60 years old. I kid you not. Right? I kid you not. Sorry, did I say Kamala Harris? Kamala, not Kamala. Kamala Bissessar. I'm sorry if I said that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I say that, right? Let's look at this comment quickly. Andy Raj. Welcome to the show, Andy Raj. Andy Raj is saying, and here is where the propaganda begins, because the truth hurts, right? The truth hurts them. Here is where it begins. Andy Raj is saying, Rowley work in for his people, but still Rowley people them is hungry. Oh, you hear, you read between the lines, but still Rowley people them hungry. Let me break it down for you guys. You know what Raj is trying to say here? That black folks in Trinidad and Tobago are hungry. Look, let's not beat around the bush. That is what Andy Raj is saying. And look, he's trying to, he's trying to spell too. He said An, ASSHOLD, Guyanese don't hungry. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Guyanese don't what? The PPP starve Guyanese people. They starve Guyanese people. Things rough in Guyana. There's no kidding about that. And if some Trinidadians watching this show tonight, I want them to hear. Not just one set of people are complaining in Guyana. Almost everyone, every ethnic group complaining in Guyana. For the sake of our Trinidadian audience tonight, let them hear from Crabman and Andy Raj. Andy Raj. Listen to.
Pressure, 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 boss pipe. Pressure bus pipe boy. Umaninza Guyana de underwater. Oh, on the wrong. Sorry. Umaninza Guyana de under pressure. What? Bangamir's $400 pong. South $400 pong. Oh, you go buy that sell back by. I just come and tell about bisa buy me little fish and mix.
You hear everybody is complaining. Everyone, those who even voted for the PPP, whether they voted once, for those who voted once, or whether those who voted 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, all are complaining. Things rough in Guyana. Forget about the oil, because with the oil, we know that Guyanese, the money is not going down to Guyanese people, the ordinary people. It is not. And if and when there is a contract given out, it is given out for the most part, mind you, to friends and cronies of the regime. Things rough for people in Guyana. People are starving. It looks as though they're back in the days when little kids had to hit the streets and do all manner of things for business. Look at what's happening there. Those youngsters selling plantain chips. And when people head out, when they head out to do whatever that is necessary, sometimes they can't even now in this oil-rich economy. People can't even buy a pack of plantain chips. They can't. But guess what? Because Jagdeo and his friends and his cronies are the ones who are benefiting. Look at this oil-rich country. This man is lying there, and look at what is going on. He doesn't even have a bottle, a juice, or nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Even while I'm on, some folks texting to say they're not getting the program, but I am on live. I'm just sending and making sure that you guys know that I am live on the show. All right. Sorry about that. Whilst I was talking, I was ensuring that I was sending a message, right? So sometimes, when I'm live and the distractions, gosh, let's focus. Let's focus on what the message is. Let us focus on what the message is about. All right? All right, because people wait until I'm on the air, then they start sending me all sort of messages. Oh man, all sort of messages they're sending for me. All right, all manner of messages. But I thank you. I'm not insulting you guys. Please don't take it that way, right? But sometimes when I'm on air and all the messages coming in, sometimes the little bit of distraction. So let me head back over here now. You see that guy lying there? He doesn't even have not even a plantain chips next to him, nothing. He's probably hungry. Look at the other guy further down. Same thing, nothing, absolutely nothing next to them. So people are starving in Guyana. People are punishing in Guyana. An oil-rich country that is supposed to be, what is it, 700. We are still at 750,000, right? We're still at 750,000 people. When are we going to move forward? But even that being the case, people are punishing. They are punishing. Little kids don't have breakfast to go to school. Their parents don't have breakfast to send them to school. People are punishing. But I'm not done yet, right? I'm not done yet. I want you guys to hear some more stuff. Sorry. Yeah, I want you guys to hear some more stuff. I'm not done as yet. We'll head back to Trinidad and Tobago because there's some other things I want to talk to you guys about. Some other stuff I really, really want to talk to you guys about. So let's thank you, operator. We can remove this here now. There's some other stuff that I want to talk to you guys about concerning the reason why Bara Jagdeo, and I have some important information for you guys. But before we do, here's what our operator is signaling me that we should take a quick break. But I want to play this here. Things are really, really getting out of hand in Guyana. Listen to this.
Well, the gas raise up and the grocery raise up. I think the government could do something about that. Because people taking a raise up top dog, you don't know. That all what I have to say. They should really do something about that.
Up top dog. Did you guys, wait a minute, did you guys hear up top, was it? Up top. Lemon, help me out. Help me out. Some of you guys, what did that guy say? Up top who? Up top dog, right? No, we got it. Up top dog. If you're watching, up top dog, is that what he said? Up top dog? All right, good. Let's get back to the up top dog before we continue with some. Listen, and everyone, this doesn't have anything to do with race, your ethnicity, your religion, your political affiliation. People are punishing in Guyana. People are starving in Guyana under the installed PPP regime. But you know what, up top dog? I commend you for your bravery, man. I salute you for your bravery. Because whilst people are complaining, majority of Guyanese are complaining, most of them ministers, they're out of the country. And like I have said earlier, when they travel out of the country, they walk with enough money. Some walk with 10,000. In the case with Irfaan, he will spend lavishly. Mark Phillips and all these guys, when they leave the country, is a bunch of money. They travel, they go, they buy up a set of things, man. They're proper shop with taxpayers' monies. That is what they do. So most of the ministers who are out of the country right now, it's big payday for them. They walk at $5,000-10,000 US. Then when they come back, they submit invoices and all manner of things. They're living large right now. Up top dog, let's hear what up top dog got to say. Because up top dog is feeling the squeeze.
Well, the gas raise up and the grocery raise up. I think the government could do something about that. Because people taking a raise up top dog, you don't know. That all what I have to say. They should really do something about that.
All right, look, up top dog. Up top dog make enough sense. Up top dog say everything gone up. Cost of living gone up. But they not raise the people's salary. They not raise people they pay. Everything gone up. And he's asking the people of the install regime, oh, I do something about that. Up top dog. Somebody tell Up Top Dog that we featured him here tonight on 107.1 FM. Up Top Dog.
Well, the gas raise up and the grocery raise up. I think the government could do something about that. Because people taking a raise up top dog, you don't know. That all what I have to say. They should really do something about that.
You know, I feel it for these folks, man. I feel it for them. I feel it for them. Meanwhile, bottom dog, because that was up top dog, real boss. Meanwhile, this is how bottom dog behaves.
Entire international community spoke about the attempts to rig an election, spoke about the attempt democracy from the people of this country. Let's fix that first. Let us fix that.
Shameless. Bottom dog. That's bottom dog. But here, look, it's Friday evening. But these people who are coming on the, TikTok or whatever, you young people on TikTok, right? Even Glenn Lal is on TikTok. They're serious. They're nothing comical about what they're saying or what they're doing. They are serious because you go and you travel throughout Guyana. 95% of the population will tell you things are rough. Things are so rough that people are making videos. Of course, it's jovial, but they just want to leave the country.
Right about now, living in Guyana right about now, I aim in Guyana no more. I think I gonna go and get me visa, and I gonna fly out, and I gonna go to Burmese, and I gonna relax myself, because I aim in Guyana no more. I aim in Guyana, I gotta go Burmese. I fly now, go Burmese, things cheap there.
And she is correct. So you get Crabman. Crabman can't lie. Crabman's an ordinary, hardworking guy selling crab and fish and shrimps. And then you have this lady who just said cost of living. I. It I. In other words, cost of living is very high, right? And then you get, who's it? Up Top Dog. Up Top Dog saying all these things, which is true. The lady was a cost of living, I. So she wants to leave the country. She getting her visa to go Burmese. I mean, look, there are things that will put a smile on our face, but at the end of the day, it's reality. Who feels it, knows it, right? That is what's happening in Guyana. Who feels it, knows it. I want to get back, but before I do, I want to get back to Rowley and Jagdeo and why Jagdeo really dislikes Rowley.
Making the short video for send to you and the viewers and listeners. I'll know we punishing in Guyana. Punishing. Rice gone up, sugar gone up, flour gone up, cost of living just gone up, gas gone up from 3,400 to 3,800. Real hungry days under this installed PPP government. Real hungry days we gone back to. Guyanese, oh, real hungry days, real hungry days.
It is a fact. Real hungry days. Everyone is complaining. Look, I like Up Top.
Well, the gas raised up and the grocery raised up. I think the government could do something about that because people taking and raise up top dog, you don't know. That all what I have to say. They should really do something about that.
Up Top Dog is the boss tonight. Up Top Dog is the boss tonight. Thank you, Up Top Dog. Keep making the video. Outing gone up. Outing. People blood pressure gone up. Oh, for some folks, not all things. All right, so let's continue here. Let's continue. I wonder how Sue is doing, Mr. Sue. I wonder how he's doing. But let us continue. So Kamala lost the elections. Rowley is now the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley, by the way, Dr. Keith Rowley is going on 73, 73 years. This guy is going on 73. Look at him. And look at this thing. This guy is probably 56 or 50. He's not even 60 yet. And look how he's looking. Seriously, look how he is looking. And he's not even 60 yet. The Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago will be 73, I believe. Look at the difference. Just take a look at the difference, right? Look at the difference. Keith Rowley. Look at the difference. You guys get where I'm coming from, right? You guys get where I'm coming from. All right, good. Now that you got where I'm coming from, let me move on. This guy, 72. 72 compared to this guy who is beat up, battered. I don't know what has happened, but if he's looking like this and he's not even 60, I know some of them, the supporters might be saying, Ben Chap, you ugly, but look at me. When I'm 72, be sure I wouldn't be looking, or when I'm this guy's age, this thing, when I'm his age, I wouldn't be looking like that. Let's take a look at me now and understand why. Let's say this guy came from good genes, man. Whereas this guy Looks like he came from Corduroy. Old crimpling pants. That's his jeans, right? But, let's move on, man. Let's move on, right? So here's what's happening. He doesn't like this guy. He doesn't like this guy because a lot of you guys don't even know that. A lot of you don't even know that Trinidad and Tobago refused to accept the guy that the installed regime sent to Trinidad and Tobago as the honorary consul general. Trinidad and Tobago government said, no, we don't want this guy. And I'll let Jagdeo and them tell you who that person is. Trinidad and Tobago said, no, we do not want this guy. But many of you might be asking, who's the guy? I want Jagdeo and them say, let the foreign affairs minister come out and say whether the government of Trinidad and Tobago has refused to accept the person that they sent to Trinidad and Tobago to be Guyana's honorary consul general. They said no to that. And let me say this, that it is not this guy. This guy was once the honorary consulate to Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana consulate, right? But this guy is actually a Trinidadian. His name is Ernie Ross. Ernie Ross, right? That's correct. Ernie Ross. R-O-S-S, Ross. Some of you might be leaning back and saying R-A-S-S, but this is Ernie Ross. He did a lot of he owns a advertising company, did a lot of work, lots and lots of work for the PPP. Made a heck of a lot of monies from the PPP, taxpayers' monies and so forth, right? Well, he's a businessman, but he was the honorary consul general. He's a Trinidadian, but he was Guyana's honorary consul general in Trinidad and Tobago, Ernie Ross. Let me see. Do you guys know this guy? Do you guys know this guy? Well, he has made a heck of a lot of monies. Jagdeo's good friend. So much so that, remember, Jagdeo had a property in Pradoville 1. That's where they bulldozed the place. They chased the people out on the opposite side of Pradoville 1. They broke up the people's houses. All sort of people. It doesn't matter your hair texture or whatever. They chased the people out. One of the guys and his family they chased out was Civic. Civic took his mattress. I remember that clearly because I'm the one who picked up Civic, an Indo-Guyanese brother, and his entire family, and brought them in Queenstown to sleep in front of Jagdeo's residence, taxpayers' residence. That I don't know if he sold that property or whatever to himself, but the Russians are renting that property for Rousseau. God in heaven knows how much rent they're paying. God in heaven knows whether the state still owns that property. I don't know because Jagdeo loves properties, right? But anyways, chased the family out and all. Civic, I don't know what Civic is up to, but his family displaced, his family split up. It's sad. Those of you who know Civic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you who know Civic, right? But anyways, so Jagdeo now, they bulldoze and chase the people out of that area to turn it into Pradoville 1, where all the people who never got fancy house and again nothing, ministers and all of them start to build big houses in Pradoville 1. Big houses. Dana Ramutar, all of them. They get big houses there. Right? Never see come to see. So they get nice big thing. Pradoville 1. The haves and the have-nots. And so they don't want their supporters to be around them. So they isolated themselves from their supporters with big fancy semi-mansions in Pradoville 1. Jagdeo had a property right there at Pradoville 1. And now there's a reason why I'm showing you guys this property. There is a reason why. And it's all connected back to Trinidad and Tobago, and who he's connected to, and why he hates Keith Rowley, the Honorable Prime Minister, so much. So much passion. He hates that guy. Maybe not as much as he hates Chris Gale. Because remember, he cussed up and he put Chris Gale in his bad book. He has Dr. Keith Rowley worse than that. Now, let's get back to this property, right? This property was Jagdeo's first property in Pradoville 1. He built it. Remember his supporters, some of his supporters said, the man I work hard, the man get enough money. Yeah, the man I work hard, the man get enough money, right? I you left him alone. The man work hard where? Enough money where? When he got into government, he came in like a pauper, empty pocket. Here's where he was living, right at that little shop front. He was that little shop front in Kitty. So don't tell me he get money. Not tell me he get money and you remember now. Okay, all right, good. So let's get back down to business. So this house here now. He sold this house. He sold it, I believe, back in 2010. You know who he sold the house to? This guy. The same advertising specialist. Ernie Ross. He sold the property for 120 million Guyana dollars. I repeat, 120 million Guyana dollars. And this is the man who was the honorary. He also made the man honorary consul general for Trinidad and Tobago. He himself, this guy is a Trinidad and Tobago. This guy is a Trinidadian. I almost sound like Irfaan Ali. This man is a Trinidad and Tobagoans, right? He's a Trinidadian. So 120 million Guyana dollars. Jagdeo sold this property to this guy for. His lawyer in the property, his lawyer, Anil Nandalal. And people started to question the deal. Anil jumped out of God, and heaven knows he raised. The only time that he gets to raise his head up is basically to say, but look, this property, everything was legal with the sale to this guy, Ernie Ross, for $120 million. There's something about this 120, between 120 and 150. 120 million Guyana dollars he sold this property for at the time, 600,000 US dollars. Well, the property sold for less than what Priya Manikchan sold her big property in Pradoville too. We'll deal with that some other time, right? Because she sold her property for almost $1 million. But Jagdeo sold this for $600,000 US, that is, to this guy. And remember, we spoke about this piece of land, 4.7 acres of land at Liliendal on the east coast of Demerara, with this man that runs Rusal, that oligarch, that Russian oligarch. He sold this. This was sold, mind you, for $120 million. So again, this $120 million thing, I don't know. We've got to follow that trend, follow that trace. We got to trace this $120 million stuff. And then there was a Duke Lodge sold to somebody that we know, Jerry Govaya. I believe it was in the vicinity of 150 million or 140 or 130 or 120, somewhere thereabout, a property that's worth far more than that, right opposite the U.S. Embassy. And so Jerry Govaya just loved that because he wanted that property right opposite the U.S. Embassy and Duke Street, hence the name Duke Lodge. So all of these things I'm saying, so to get back to why he really hates Keith Rowley, the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, right? So you get my drift and his connection to Trinidad and Tobago, his connection to those folks who close to this woman, Kamala Harris. I'm sorry, Kamala Bessasar, right? Because they're close to her, They want to now embarrass Keith Rowley, Prime Minister Keith Rowley, by saying that Trinidad is falling apart and all manner of things. But those of us who know Jagdeo and how he's governing the country and the people in Guyana, we know that it's probably okay that Trinidad is falling apart, but based on the economy and how it's growing from last year to now, we know that Jagdeo is straying from the truth because Guyana is falling to pieces under the PPP regime. Somebody's asking me a question here, right? I don't know. Someone is asking a question here. Mark, so where's all those monies? I don't know what Jagdeo does with his money. I don't know where he pushes his money. I don't know what he does with his monies. I don't know. But what I do know is that he loves properties. He loves properties upon properties. Speaking of properties, this one here, let's touch on this, all right? Because we're not seeing these things and the Prime Minister Trinidad and Tobago and so forth and so on owning a bunch of properties all over the place. No, but this property now in Georgetown, Queenstown, properties that he would never dreamed of owning in his lifetime. Look, and he bought this property from his friend Brian James. And now you know Brian James is a businessman. Probably, I believe, was at one time co-owner, or he had the franchise for one of those franchise restaurant or whatever, right? But he's a businessman. He's very close to Bharat Jagdeo. He was one time, I believe, again, member of the Private Sector Commission. A bunch of PPP guys. And so Bharat Jagdeo bought that property from that guy. He bought the property from this guy. 2 lots. You see the evidence there. Jagdeo acquired these 2 properties. Yes, the man loves properties. And then we know that he also bought another property and turned this guy into a tenant. This guy is Sue. We'll touch on Sue for a minute. But let's get back to this property out in Queenstown. Brian James. You guys remember the One Laptop per Family program? Well, this guy is, I believe he is the distributor of that laptop company, Huawei from China, right? And they won the bid, hundreds of millions of dollars and all these manner of things, right? And then after they made hundreds of millions of dollars from the deal, Jagdeo suddenly purchased these 2 properties from Brian James. So Jagdeo is not necessarily a politician, you know. He's a businessman. He's a hustler. That is what he's about. God in heaven knows how many other properties Jagdeo owns, right? But yet he wants to talk about this guy. He wants to talk about this guy as though he is better than this guy. And I'll tell you guys this. Jagdeo cannot walk in the left side shoes of this man. In fact, this man probably wears a size 16 or a size 17, right? Either a size 16 or a size 17, you know. And I say that because I'm not the judge of people's foot size, right? But maybe one of these days, Judge Shishi can tell us what size is this man's shoes. Maybe a size 14, a 16, or whatever. And you know Jagdeo probably wears a size 6.5, right? A size 6.5. Now let's get back to some serious stuff, right? So we're following the trail of why he hates Jagdeo, because all of these guys are not necessarily in favor of Dr. Keith Rowley, right? Yeah, sorry about that. So not necessarily in favor of Keith Rowley. And this guy, Jagdeo, they sent this guy back to Trinidad again as honorary consul general, and they refused to accept him. And because they refused to accept him, Jagdeo right? So they, sorry about that. They refused to accept him. All of these things, while Jagdeo, they refused to accept him because he was involved allegedly in some sort of a situation when the then Attorney General was about to be kicked out. And he, according to information, allegedly, he tried to influence and ask that the matter be settled and all matter, allegedly, right? And so the Trinidad and Tobago government didn't want him back as the consul, the honorary consul general for Guyana in Trinidad and Tobago. So, my friends, there are lots and lots of things we can talk about. But do not allow Jagdeo to fool you. Do not allow Jagdeo to put blinkers over your eyes. Do not allow Jagdeo to pretend as though he is some sort of reform individual and that he believes in democracy, that he believes in transparency, and that he wants the best for you, the people of Guyana. He doesn't. He wants the best for himself. He wants the best, well, some of a little bit for his friends and his cronies, but he wants everything for himself. That's Bharat Jagdeo. If Bharat Jagdeo is to reveal the amount of properties he owns around Georgetown, it may surprise you. Maybe outside of Guyana, I don't know. Maybe he has bank accounts other places, I don't know. Maybe in China under a different name, I don't know. Maybe in some African country under a different name, I don't know. I just don't know. But at some point in time, we will know. But I'll tell you this, it is not like the rumor that is spread about Forbes Burnham, that he's one of the wealthiest men in the world. 30 plus years since the death of Burnham, it is still to be proven. Where is the evidence? The truth is, there's no evidence. The truth is, there's no Swiss bank account Burnham left behind. But that was the propaganda peddled by the PPP and their folks at Freedom House and other places. But if we were to compare the wealth of Forbes Burnham to the wealth of dictator Jagdeo, we will see that Burnham was nowhere close to Bharat Jagdeo. In fact, Burnham, many of you will be shocked to know that he was a simple man when it came to wealth. He believed that the nation should benefit. Now, some of you might argue that Burnham wasn't perfect, some of you, but we've got to give him credit for all the things that he created. The banks, the roads, every single thing, the schools, every single thing that the very people who are cursing him today, including people like Bharat Jagdeo and Irfaan and those people who can't even walk in peace of his shoes, they have benefited tremendously from Forbes Burnham. Sadly, some of them didn't make proper usage of education. I'm speaking of Bharat and of Irfaan Ali and some of the other vindictive set of vagabonds in the PPP hierarchy, mind you. This is not an attack or insult against the ordinary rank and file support base of the PPP. I know many of you guys are frustrated. We are all frustrated. We are all fed up of the sort of governance we're seeing there in Guyana. It's all about corruption. And so when Bharat Jagdeo sat with the official of the US State Department who visited, who's probably now out of Guyana, I am almost certain that she knew everything or almost everything. Almost everything. So Jagdeo cannot just pretend as though he's lying or pretend as though he's a changed man. He's not a changed man. According to him, Trinidad and Tobago is falling falling apart. But sadly, Guyana is falling to pieces. And with 23 years of mismanagement, misrule, dictatorship, massive corruption, extrajudicial killings, drug lords running all around Guyana, we see the same today. There's no law. There's no respect for the rule of laws. We have corrupt individuals masquerading as businessmen, legitimate businessmen. Some of them are in the private sector commission. Again, my fellow folks, don't be fooled by Bharat Jagdeo and the PPP. Irfaan Ali will return from Dubai and he will hold a press conference and he's going to talk about who is coming to Guyana and who is doing this, and they're creating 700 jobs and all manner of things. It's a lie, a bunch of lies. Why do you think they're going to Dubai and all those other places? It's because some of those so-called businessmen who will be going to Guyana can grease the palms of some of those top officials in the installed regime. They don't trust doing business with the Americans. They just don't trust doing business with Americans for obvious reasons. Now, before I go, look at this. American Airline apologizes to the installed regime for a 4-hour delay in Irfaan's Miami flight. Almost every day, Guyanese go through the same thing. Some of them don't get on their flights. Some of them miss going back to their jobs. Maybe some of them have lost their jobs and all manner of things because of airlines, including American Airlines. And when you go in the line for to board American Airlines, if you're local, if you're Guyanese, and maybe if you don't fit a certain description, you're not going in no first class and business class. You're going till in pit, till on the back, next to the toilet. And when you have to join lines, you're not a priority as a Guyanese. But you know who pay the bills for all those people who sit in first class and business class, right? Ordinary Guyanese pay that bill. Ordinary Guyanese. Good night to the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And good night to all of you beautiful, beautiful people. Keith Rowley, Prime Minister Keith Rowley, and his beautiful family. Keep your head up high and keep representing your people, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Sadly, we have no one in Guyana, in the regime, mind you, in this installed regime, who really care about Guyana and who can represent Guyana's interest. It's all about their money. It's all about grabbing whatever they can grab for themselves and their cronies. And when they put people on boards, they want to put us on boards. I guess some of you know when you board somebody, that is what they want to do to us. But we're not silly. They can tell us that people are not politically motivated. People like the Duki, people like Dunstan Barrow. Dunstan Barrow wouldn't represent the interest of anybody other than the PPP, other than Jagdeo. Duki wouldn't represent anybody other than the PPP's interest. He has been a senior member of the Private Sector Commission. He has been there. He has been more pro-PPP than anything else. So the people, majority of the people of Guyana, have no confidence in those people that Jagdeo handpicked to put on boards. I've got to go. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. God bless you. And God bless that beautiful, beautiful country. Hey, this coming week, Clarence Thomas. I don't know. Clarence Thomas may be the first, maybe, According to how I'm seeing things are going, his wife may be subpoenaed to answer some questions about January 6th, right? And if that's the case, they will go after Justice Clarence Thomas. And he may be the first justice of the United States Supreme Court to be impeached. That's just my thinking. Let me see some of your messages, and I thank you all so much for that. I'll be back on Monday, unless there's an emergency. But I'll be back on Monday, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of the night and a great, a blessed, and a safe weekend. God bless you all. Bye-bye. That was for you guys, not for Jagdeo.
It's been a long time, it's been a long time, it's not a before time. It's been a long time, it's been a long time, it's not a before time. It's been a long time, it's been a long time, it's not a before time. Long time got them lang loji, now you got them bongolo. Long time got them lang loji, now you got them bongolo. It's been a long time, it's been a long time, it's not a before time. It's been a long time, it's been a long time, it's not a before time. Long time got them dirty down, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them dirty down, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them dirty down, now you got them concrete road. Long time got them.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, so call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Well, gas raise up and the grocery raise up. I think the government should do something about that. Because people taking a raise up top dog, you don't know. That all what I have to say. They should really do something about that. The gas raise up and the grocery raise up. I think the government should do something about that. Because people taking a raise up top dog, you don't know. That all what I have to say. They should really do something about that. The gas raise up and the grocery raise up. I think the government should do something about that. Because people taking a raise up top dog, you don't know. That all what I have to say. They should really do something about that.